Well, the hits just keep on coming. Electric vehicles have been all the craze in the market. Did you hear who's injecting a lot of money into electric vehicles? Stick with me as I share this info with you. Another hot one. Clean energy EVs. Clean energy EVs. And man, this has just been a hot industry. So let's talk about some of the stocks that are making news in here. Chinese electric vehicle maker XPEV secures $2 billion, with a B, credit line to expand manufacturing. Man. So more and more companies are putting a lot more money, and we're going to see another story like this in a second, putting a lot more money behind the electric vehicles because that seems to be the wave of the future. Now, my question, and I'll put this out there, and I should put out a poll. I think I'm going to, can I do a poll live, Joey, or do I have to do it in our YouTube channel? Yeah, you can do it live. I can't do it live. All right. I'm going to put out a poll. Do you think that electric vehicles are a fad, or is this the wave of the future? So type in the room either fad or future. Fad or future. Do you think electric cars are a fad, or is this going to be the way of the future? All right, because looking at what I think all of these stories are, my personal opinion is that they will be the wave of the future. And that's an important question because when you're asking trying to make, future's coming up all over the place. If you're trying to make a concerted effort to buy into these things, you need to determine whether or not you're going to be long-term or not. And I think that with a lot of the people that are typing in futures, some people are typing in wave. Todd typed in wave. That was the only person really that typed in wave, and that's fine. And I'm not singling you out. I'm just looking at the results that are coming in. If you think that it's a fad, then you may just trade these stocks. But if you're looking at that these are going to be part of the future, these could be longer-term investments that you could be buying at a low dollar price right now. So XPEV, that's huge. $2 billion credit to expand manufacturing. That's good. All right, my next story. Of course, who's the big boy in this space? Tesla. Tesla's Model Y to emerge as a disruptor as Chinese EV sales zoom in 2021. So we just talked about XPEV, which was a Chinese EV company, and everybody's running after Tesla. Everybody's running after Tesla. New models will help the electrical vehicle sales in China zoom this year after tepid business and virus-riddled 2020. And analysts predict Tesla Model Y their pricing will emerge as a major disruptor in the world's biggest car market. All right, so they're looking at starting out this Y vehicle at about $52,000, 10% below official prices of Daimler Chrysler's, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, all locally made gasoline sport vehicles, SUVs with small, similar size and positioning. $52,000. $52,000 for electric vehicle. Now, I live in Mooresville, North Carolina, and every exotic car you ever want to see in the world is in my town. And I see a lot of Teslas running around, all different variations of Teslas running around. I think that it's going to be the thing of the future. And someone that says wrong future due to battery contamination. So, Jim, when you look at a company in batteries, NIO is in that space. Of course, Tesla is in that space. How about XROF is in that space to solidify the electric motor? XROF is another company that I think is going to be a disruptor because everything dealing with these electric motors, when you start to fine-tune them and get them right, they're all going to have to come through XROF. XROF, EXROF, is a stock to keep your eyes on if you haven't already done it. EXROF, it's a little company out of Canada, but in this space, dealing with the electric motor, if you haven't, I've made a lot of money on it. A lot of people are saying plug, Plug as well. I love that stock. We're going to talk about that as one of my stories as well. But everybody's running after Tesla. Now, I talked about NIO, right? NIO is another big topic here on YouTube as well. A couple of days ago, Citi downgrades NIO, saying the red-hot China EV play may have trouble challenging Tesla. Everybody's going after Tesla. That's why the Tesla story came up before the NIO story. And I think that you're getting more companies in this space. It's going to create a lot of competition. And now what's going to start to happen is we're going to start weeding out the weaker EV companies, and the stronger ones will rise to the top. The stronger ones will rise to the top. And, Citi downgrading NIO could be big news. But wait, NIO partners with NVIDIA on the next-gen electric vehicle tech. That's going to be huge. NIO says it will use NVIDIA's Drive Orange system on a chip for its new generation of electric autonomous vehicles. Now, autonomous vehicles means that ain't nobody driving it. You gonna drive an autonomous vehicle? You can't, because you're real. You're not autonomous. So now that's interesting. How comfortable do we get in this field of autonomy and self-driving cars? Another side story that's out there as well. Apple is thinking about hooking up with Hyundai to come up with their own electric car. Everybody wants a piece of this electric market. Everybody and their mama wants a piece of this electric market. All right, so when Steve says because right now Hydro doesn't work, that's the Plug stock. Looking at hydroelectrics. Is it hydroelectrics? We're going to talk about that in a second. But two different stories on NIO. NIO got downgraded by Citi. But NIO also partners with NVIDIA. So now looking at the conflicting stories, this is where VectorVest comes into play. We're going to look and analyze these stocks to give you a better understanding. And here we go. Plug powered 13% on hydrogen venture with Renault. A lot of these companies now, whether it's with chips or with car manufacturers, Plug is now going out to Renault. Apple is going out to Hyundai. GM is going to be putting some money behind electrical vehicles as well. There's a whole lot going on. Yeah, I know, Mark. I'm going to get to that in a second. GM is putting a whole lot of these, the major car manufacturers, and it goes back to my poll that I asked. Is this of the future? All of the major car manufacturers are going after this space. I'm sitting down at home and I'm looking at the TV and I'm looking at Volkswagen is coming out with an electric car. I look at Ford. Ford electrified the Mustang. It's an ugly looking car. You like that Mustang? Mm-hmm. That Mustang is ugly, but it got an electric Mustang. Whoever thunk it? Yes, I know I said thunk. Whoever thunk that you would have a fully electric Mustang, which is a muscle car, fully electric. Big company names are putting a lot of money behind the electric vehicles, which is why I'm thinking that it is more of a way of a future. And last but not least, big story here, General Motors unveils an EV van as part of a new commercial business unit. So commercial business. So what is that? That's all of those vehicles that are vans that instead of having a big old truck or a big old van, these compact vans for, if you're delivering flowers. How about the people who deliver for Amazon? Those kinds of vans. General Motors plans to launch an all-new electric vehicle van called the EV600 by the end of this year. And I saw a part of this. There it is. The van part of GM's plan is to invest $27 billion in electric and autonomous vehicles. More and more people are pushing towards the autonomous self-driving cars. Very interesting. And somebody says, imagine a flying car. I was sitting back as I look at all of this. I'm thinking about the Jetsons. This is the time where we're supposed to be in flying cars. And, Jane, stop this crazy thing as he's walking the dog and all that. How far are we from flying cars? I don't know. We got drones. All right, we got drones, but, flying cars, we're not there quite yet there, Maria, not there yet. So, all right, so those are my stories on clean energy. The biggest thing about Plug, though, is that it is a hydrogen car more so than electric. And I think that plug, that's future. That's also future, but I don't know what the statistics are against a hydrogen compared to battery. So, no, am I giving up my excursion for the EV? Nope. You going to buy an EV?
Maybe one day.
Yeah, Joey said maybe one day. I'm keeping my 8-cylinder, 40-gallon tank excursion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm keeping that. All right, so I'm putting that out there. And again, you keep showing up stocks. I'm not going to do it yet. All right. Something, I like that. Juice says I should do a story on drones. That might not be a bad thing as long as I could find some good news, whether good or bad, on it, Juice. That might be something to take a look at. All right, let's take a look at the stocks in this space. All right, so Tesla is in that. Plug is in here. General Motors, NIO. What else? And XPEV. Notice now, for all of you who are new, when we look at a watch list of stocks, they're automatically sorted by our master indicator, VST. So the stocks that have the best combination of value, safety, and timing will migrate to the top of the list. What is the top stock in our list? Tesla. We go down a couple, Plug, General Motors, NIO, all in the top half of my 15 stocks that we'll look at today, whereas XPEV is all the way down at the bottom. Interesting, right? So if we analyze them, Tesla is at 851. We give a value. Our value is what we feel the stock is worth. It is not a target price. We feel that Tesla is worth $158. Its upside potential, relative value based on a scale of 0 to 2 is good. Relative value tells me that Tesla should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 49%. Relative safety is an indicator of risk. Above the value of 1, it's a less risky stock. RT tells me if the short-term price trend of the stock, tells me what the short-term price trend of the stock is. RT at 1.82 tells me that Tesla is in an uptrend. Plug, trading at 66 with a value of $2.23. Grossly overvalued. Why? Because people understand that we're moving more to that EV space, driving the stock's price higher than what it's worth. That means people are willing to pay a premium to own this stock. That's Plug. Relative value, its upside potential is not there yet. Below the value of 1. Relative safety tells me that this stock is still a little risky. The fundamentals behind Plug are not there. This tells me that Plug is definitely being moved by news. And it's definitely up right now. It's moving up quickly. They have negative earnings, and they're growing their earnings at a clip of only 4% a year. General Motors has been around a long time, right? Trading at $51.35, value of $37.20. With COVID-19, the value of many of the stocks in the market have fallen. Upside potential, not really there right now with an RV below 1. Relative safety below 1. What's moving it? 1.77. So the fundamentals behind the stock are not there, but the stock is moving up. Right now, news-driven. Negative earnings growth rate. GM has been hit enough that they're not growing their earnings at a positive clip. Now, they do have an earnings per share of $5.86, but negative earnings growth rate. NIO, trading at 60, value of $5.22. Upside potential by RV, not there. Safety on NIO, not there, but the stock is in an uptrend. So these stocks where the fundamentals are not good, but the relative timings are good, are more speculative plays. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy it. It means that if I know that the stock is more of a speculative play, then I trade it a little different, and maybe I trade it instead of long-term investing. Now, a lot of people, I see a lot of stories out there on NIO, and everybody is giving you their spin on NIO. I'm not giving you my spin. I'm going to let the VectorVest software really walk you through what you should do with NIO. Right now, earnings growth 17%. They're getting less and less worse as far as earnings. Earnings right now is down. Their earnings per share is a negative 7 cents. But if I were to go to look at the graph, I bet you their earnings per share is getting better, getting better, getting better. NIO is a company that should be around for a while, but should be looked at as an opportunity to take your money when you can and wait for another buying opportunity after you've made some money on it. Long term, I'm not feeling it because the analysis tells me that I'm not feeling it right now. And last but not least, XPEV, $50, trading at $50 with a value of $4.97. The upside potential with relative value is not there. Relative safety is not there. The stock is in an uptrend. All of these stocks in this space are in an uptrend because, again, it is news-driven. Earnings per share, 13% in the negative, 13 cent in the negative, but they are growing it at a positive clip. Now, let's take this a step further. Let's analyze the stocks on a graph. Looking at Tesla. I love me some Tesla. I love that stock, and I cannot lie. Look at that run-up. Nicely above the 20-day exponential moving average, moving a tad bit sideways right now. If I'm not in Tesla, I'd wait until it goes above that high. If I am in Tesla, leave it alone. Let that 20-day exponential moving average help you. Let that 20-day exponential moving average help you. You know what would have been a good opportunity to get out of this stock? Stock went up, gapped up, hit that high. See this candle right here? It closed lower than the prior day's low. That was a good day to get out. All right, take your profit off the table. Now wait for a good buying opportunity again. But you notice as the stock was running up, the price never closed lower than the prior day's low. That's a good opportunity on an end-of-day basis to make money on the stock. But look at that. Was that a good opportunity to get out as the stock is moving sideways? Wait and buy it again. All right, next one, plug. A lot of gappiness in this, a little bit more volatile. Gapping, had a level of resistance, broke through it, continued higher. Watch gappy stocks because as quickly as they can gap up, as quickly as they can gap down. Right now, the stock is pulling off of a high. If I'm not in it, I'd wait about 12 cents higher than the high. If I am in the stock, use that 20-day exponential moving average, or look at better yet. Is the stock's price closing lower than the prior day's low? And look at that. All of this movement, using that methodology in and of itself, keeps you in that stock. All right, next one in this list is GM. Big news with all of that money that they're throwing behind the company. Be careful with the stock's price going up and volume going down. Just watch that. But clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average. If you're in it, great. If you're not in it, I'd wait until 12 cents higher than the high before I pull the trigger on it. But it is definitely moving from the bottom left to the top right. Next stock, NIO. This is the hot stock on YouTube. And again, everybody wants to give you their opinion. Go buy it now. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, utilize a graph. Why? Because a graph or a picture is worth 1,000 words. Look at the movement. Is it moving from the bottom left to the top right? Is it doing what you want it to do right now? And if it's not, let the stock come to you. I would wait 12 cents higher than the high to make sure I'm buying into a rising stock. And as the stock's price move, look at this. No time did the stock's price close lower than the low, lower than the low, lower than the low. And look at that. When it did close lower than the prior day's low, was that a good opportunity to get out? Boom, and look at the pullback. Then wait till it gets above the 20-day exponential moving average with follow-through, and then run it again. All right, so not only am I telling you about NIO, what's going on with it, I'm showing you from a graphical perspective how to trade the stock and how to not get smoked when the stock gets killed. XPEV, putting a whole bunch of money behind its stock. Earnings is getting better. Earnings growth rate is starting to grow. The RT tells me the stock's in an uptrend. I'm not feeling it just right now. It is above the 20-day exponential moving average, but clearly a little bit below this level of resistance. I'd wait for that. All right, I'd wait for that. Hey, if you like this content, guess what? You can join us live every Thursday at 2 p.m. here on YouTube. Join VV Nation. We hope to see you there.